Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. So, y'all want to know something funny? A couple months ago, right after Sohei came out in For Honor, and I wasn't even at a Rep 2 with the character yet, I've been getting plenty of comments from people talking about his playstyle, how he works, and what buff he needs. But there was also another question I was asked. Who do you think the new hero is going to be? I laughed at this and replied, it's Sohei. He just came out, man. But they clarified, no, the next one. And I was stunned. The next one? We just got one and you're already asking about the next one? It's almost like the current generation has the attention span of a gnat. What, don't believe me? I'll prove it right now. Let's see if you can get all the way through me talking about the sponsor of today's video, my Teespring store. That's right, guys, I have a Teespring store with some fantastic merch made by some wonderful friends of mine. We have shirts, mugs, blankets, stickers, backpacks, and various other items. We have the Lawringer Code merch with Richard Blackthorne on the front with his famous saying from his legend. We have American Toast with Claire sitting on an American cheeseburger and raising a toast to liberty. We have the Raven logo merch in both black and white, including a brand new beanie item, and available for a limited time this Christmas holiday, Claire Claus merch with an adorable Christmas Claire, available as a Christmas tree ornament for you to hang on your tree and show everyone your support for the channel, along with several other items. Also, if you buy any Claire Claus item before December 25th, you'll get a 10% discount by using the code CON. So get that while the getting's good. That's right, the code is CON for a 10% discount on all Claire Claus items. Link to the Teespring store is below in the description. So, did you get all that? Or did you zone out? Well, what if I told you I already gave you a hint about who I think the new hero is in that opening bit? Yeah, bet you'll go back and listen more closely this time, won't ya? Anyway, all joking and product placement aside, it never fails that I'll be blasted with the same question over and over again anytime a new hero is even remotely hinted at. Who do I think the new hero will be? What are my expectations about the new hero? Typically, I don't make early guesses because, scratch that. I do make early guesses, but I don't publicize them because I don't want to look like a fool and be wrong. But in this case, I'll go ahead and put my cards on the table and my chips in the pot. I do have a theory about who the new hero is, and I'd like to share it. First, let's discuss what we know about the new hero. We know the hero will be female, since the For Honor team always teases one male and one female hero each year. And Sohei was our male, Sohei could always identify as female, I guess. Far be it from me to assume his preferred gender. It is the year of our Lord 2024 where anything is possible. But, I saw him making out with Valkyrie the other day behind the school locker and chugging brewskis with Warlord. He's a real man! So we're definitely getting a woman. We also know she'll be somewhat villainous. It was heavily indicated by the dev team that this hero would not be as morally sound as, say, Aphira, Medjai, or Ocelot. We know there'll be Outlanders, but they're arriving alongside a Wulin-centered season, so we can conclude that this hero is probably related to the Wulin in some way. So, with all that said, what can we conclude? We can conclude that this hero is a little bit more controversial, is related somehow to Wulin culture, is a woman. So, who is it? Does anyone come to mind? Well, my first thought, and likely yours, was the Mongols. Specifically Kutalun, but we'll get back to her later. Now, I don't just make this guess because I would really like a Mongolian warrior. There's more than that. My first clue, yes, I will be providing evidence for my claim. My first clue was actually the minions. Notice the helms they're wearing. They look a little bit like Mongolian fur hats and helms, or at least Russian fur hats and helms, but who's wanting any Russians in this game, am I right? Please don't kill me, my Russian audience members. I love Russia. Russia's a beautiful place. All hail the motherland. Then there's the mask outfits in the battle pass. They look similar to massive demons or deities in Mongolian folklore. Now, some have indicated that they also have some similarity to deities in Tibetan myth, but it should be noted the Mongolians and Tibetans have some overlap and influence between the two. Plus, Can we be perfectly honest for a moment? Do you really think Ubisoft would risk upsetting China by adding specifically Tibetan-inspired heroes? Yeah, look up the relationship between the Chinese government and Tibet. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and bewildered. Fun for the whole family. Also, let's take a listen to that OST for a second, the original soundtrack. Let's take a listen to that. The musical instrument that sounds like a string instrument? Listen to that. I believe that's a Mongolian morin-kur, a type of string instrument popular in Mongolia. Here, listen to the two side by side. I'm going to play both. Here we go. Yeah, pretty similar, isn't it? Oh, and see that symbol on the blanket behind the girl in this clip? That sure looks familiar. Why, it's the symbol behind the mask effect you see in the battle pass. That's the eternal knot, a Buddhist symbol that is popular in both Tibet and Mongolia. Then there also seems to be some throat singing going on. Listen again. Throat singing, or kume, is a traditional form of Mongolian music that is beautiful and haunting to listen to, but absolutely stellar. And before anyone asks, yes, women can do it too. So as far as I can see, there's some definitive connections, but I think there's even more we could draw from. In the words of Billy Mays, but I'm not done yet. When you boot up the game, take a careful look at the very end of the intro cinematic. Look on the ice leading up to the harbor. What do you see?
A downfall is coming.
A shadow of a hawk, it seems. That's a very interesting shadow. Hunting with hawks is a tradition in Mongolian culture, and falconry is still widely practiced. In fact, there's an old story I shared on stream the other day that I think you may all find very interesting. According to the story, Genghis Khan was out hunting one day with his favorite hawk, but while riding all day, he grew thirsty. Fortunately, he came to a small trickling stream where water was dripping from a rock into a puddle. Excitedly, he ran to the dripping water with a cup to fill it. When he filled the cup and raised it up to drink, his hawk flew down and struck it out of his hand. Now, Genghis was shocked, but thought perhaps the bird was confused, so he repeated the drinking attempt, only for the hawk to strike the cup down again. Furious, Genghis Khan swore, "If you do that one more time, I'll kill you." And sure enough, when Genghis tried one more time, the bird struck the cup out of his hand. Outraged, Genghis shot the bird out of the sky with his bow. He went to where the bird landed, and he saw the water source where the trickling stream came from, and in the little puddle was a venomous snake, dead. The hawk had seen the serpent and had given its life to warn her master of the danger. And the lesson from this story, of course, is to not act rashly or in anger and to try to understand your friend's deeds before rushing to swift judgment. But what if we took more from the story and applied it to For Honor? What is this season called, ladies and gentlemen? The Serpent Sword. Right. How does one get the Serpent Sword? It is exchanged when one wishes to make peace. But the sword always seems to carry blood with it. The peace is a lie. We don't know how Zhe got the sword. What if someone knew how he got it? What if someone knew this serpent for what he was, saw him for the snake he is? A hawk has spied the serpent and is now seeking to warn the master. Perhaps that is what the new hero is, a hawk that recognizes the serpent and is seeking to strike. I'm not saying this new hero would necessarily be Horkos' ally, but perhaps someone who holds a grudge against Zhe. Or maybe they're an ally of Zhe. A warrior group is working alongside him to topple Astria and help the Wulin take Heathmore. Or they could just be a group of opportunists who want to conquer the Wulin instead of Zhe. That would make sense, given the Mongolians did conquer China and start the Yuan dynasty. So, with all this evidence being brought forward, I think that makes the guess that the new hero is a Mongolian mommy not too far-fetched. But I already know what some of you are going to say. Quote, "Why does she have to be female?" Because for some reason, everyone forgets that Ubisoft has been doing this for the past few years now, where they do one male and one female hero each year. It started with Astria and Griffin in year 4, then Kyoshin and Pirate in year 5, then Medjay and Aphira in year 6, then Ocelot and Varangian in year 7. We just had Sohei, who is male. Can you guess what comes next? And before anyone runs to their history books to dust them off and shout about how this isn't historically accurate, what if I told you there is some historical precedent? There's actually some precedence for the idea of Mongol warrior women. There are a few historical accounts of certain women fighting alongside men in Mongolia. It was not common, necessarily, but it was noted. One named warrior woman by Marco Polo himself was Kutulun, a daughter of Kaidu, cousin of Kublai Khan. According to the records, she was a woman trained in shooting, riding, fishing, and wrestling. She was famed for her ability to battle and even best men in the sports of wrestling and fighting. Now, it should be noted that one exception does not define the rule, obviously, nor does it mean that women were prominent in fighting with the Mongolians. In fact, quite the opposite. Historians would likely have only made mention of select warrior women specifically because of what an oddity it was. But with that said, there is at least precedence for this idea, and since many Mongol children were taught to ride and shoot from the time they were 7, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think some women might ride with men to hunt or even fight, and firing arrows from horseback helps to lessen some of the physical disadvantages of gender differences. And if you're still upset after that, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't see an issue, and I really don't care. As long as the hero is fun to play and creative and design, that's all I really care about, and I'm hoping she will be. So, guys, I really thought that it'd be fun to share with you guys some of my thoughts and opinions about who I think the new hero will be. I am pretty sure, I'm 99.99% sure that this hero is going to be a Mongolian mommy, and I am very, very excited about that. I'm going to get my White Scar character for the first time. If I had to say anything bad about the idea, though, it's, why does she gotta be an Outlander? You could very easily make her a Wulin and it would still fit. In fact, I've always been of the opinion that Griffin should have been the first Outlander. You should have taken Pirate and this Mongol warrior and make them part of the Wulin, and you'd already have the Wulin almost completely caught up, and you'd still get your 4 Outlander characters. The only difference is, the Knights would be down 1 character, but everyone seems okay with that anyway, so I don't see the problem. But that's just me. I feel like we could use some more Wulin characters. Now, people are also going to ask, what do you think the Mongol warrior will fight with? What do you think their weapon will be? I don't know. I'm not the person who decides all that stuff. I just come here as the historian, here to tell you guys based on what I've noticed in the trailer and what I've noticed in the lore that leads me to believe it could be a Mongol mama. And I am very, very excited to get my Mongol mama. Okay? Okay. That's all I had to share with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, that Teespring link is down in the description below. Please go check it out. Again, if you use the code KHAN, K-H-A-N, KHAN, that was the hint, by the way. If you use the code KHAN on that Teespring link, you will be able to get yourself a 10% discount on the Clay Your Claws merchandise. Hope to see you there. Hope that you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.